Hi everyone, welcome back to the Havish 5 Domino Community channel. I'm Twig, and I'm sure that a lot of you are subscribed to this channel because you yourself are an aspiring domino artist, and you want to get into building some projects. So I think I can offer some points of advice to all of you. So these are my 5 tips on how to make better setups. So my first tip is balance, and it's something that I haven't really seen that many people talking about. What this means is that in a setup with multiple ideas, you want your ideas to kind of differ from each other, have diversity. So you can have some structures, some tricks, some designs, and also have them differ in size, because the difference in size will make the smaller ones kind of bring out the bigger ones more, and that's what makes a well-balanced setup. If your setup is not well-balanced, then none of your ideas will really stand out, and your project will not be memorable. Domino Airman setups are a really good example of well-balanced setups. You can see her little charming transitions between her bigger ideas kind of bring out the main ideas of the setup more. The second thing to pay attention to is colors. Now, good colors can really make a huge difference in your setup. Try to get creative with different color combinations and different patterns when you build your setup. Try to have colors that contrast each other. Over time, it'll become more and more intuitive to make good color choices and know what looks good. If you want to look at some good color combinations, go to like BP Doll's setups or WebGuy 1000. They tend to pick colors that contrast each other, but not too much that it looks too cluttered. The third key point is creativity. This is pretty much what makes your setup interesting. Don't directly copy someone else's work, but rather take inspiration from someone else's idea and kind of add your own creative twist on it. Now, I know it takes a lot of experience and time for creative ideas to just start coming intuitively to you, and even as an experienced builder, it's still very difficult to come up with creative ideas, but still, dominoes are an art form, so creativity and originality is important. Something I would like to note is that you can definitely come up with creative ideas without severely impacting how reliable your setup is in terms of it working, right? A lot of people try to come up with creative tricks, but I would like to see more people coming up with creative designs. For example, Mar Dominoes is able to create lots of interesting and unique designs that aren't very risky, but still make the setup much more interesting to watch. And this kind of brings us into our next thing. Fails is next thing to consider, because a fail can really break the satisfaction and flow in a setup. Now, once again, this takes quite a bit of experience to get your setups to start working pretty well. But when you encounter a fail, make sure you learn from it so that you don't experience the same fail more than once. Learn from your mistakes. Make sure you test out the ideas in your setup. If you test it out and it fails, make sure you fix that fail and try to get it working. Still, fails and setups are gonna happen nonetheless. They're kind of inevitable. So I'd say that an editor is definitely something that you would want to consider getting if you're gonna start making actual domino videos. It doesn't have to be a very good editor. You can see myself, I use iMovie 2009 that can't even export in HD. But yeah, if iMovie for Mac or Window Live Movie Maker for Windows, just little cuts that you can put in if there's a fail, and it won't break the flow of the setup. And while we're on the topic of tech, the final tip is filming or cinematography. It's one thing if you can make interesting and creative ideas, but you need to be able to show these creative ideas well. For example, this clip in BFDI and Dominoes, there's this really nice pivot track trick that I made, but no one can tell how it works because I didn't film it very well, and also it's being overwhelmed by this very large field to the right. When you're building a setup, it's good to kind of think about how you're going to film it as you build it. So an example is if you have 2 elements falling at the same time, you should try to avoid that, or at least try to make it in a way so that you can film both of them at the same time. Another thing is to try to keep your camera not too shaky and not too close to the dominoes. Try to make your movements still. Once again, you want to be able to show your ideas well, and this definitely affects it if there's a lot of blurring in the camera. Alright, that's pretty much it. Those are my 5 main tips to look at. For a question for you guys, what is the best domino video or setup in your opinion, or what's your favorite domino setup? I think we can get some discussion going about that. And so that's pretty much it. I'm Twig. Whoosh. I'm gone. Bye.
Thank you so much, Twig, for all these tips. I 100% agree with all of them. Very well said. Recap: balance, colors, creativity, fails, and cinematography. They all combine to make a great domino setup and a great video. What is your favorite domino setup? If there are any other tips that you have for domino builders, leave them down below in the comments and let us know what your favorite domino project or domino video is. Anyways, I'm Hevish5, and I'll see you later.